Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Rocker Dog Podcast, the show that talks to musicians about their dogs and the positive aspects of these companion animals. I'm your host, Tim Dill, along with my co-pilot and better half, Charlie the Golden Doodle. And today we are happy to have on the other end of our Zoom call, Brooke Dickson, who's a member of the Regrettes and Chase Petra, who are both in the midst of writing new albums. And this is her big pod, Rocker Dog.
So my dog is named Poppy. She is a blue pit bull. She's about a year and a half old. She drives me crazy and also is the love of my life.
I saw recently your post said having a dog is the coolest shit of all time.
Oh yeah, it is. Because you get to nap with them and they snore and it's the cutest thing ever.
Yes, I saw the video, and it's funny on that the video and the pictures you posted. I'm sorry, is Poppy a boy or girl?
A girl.
Okay, her paws are huge.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what is this going to be? Probably 70 or 80 pound dog?
No, I thought so, but she really didn't get that big. So we think she's about full grown now, but she's still really little. She just has huge paws for some reason.
Okay, that's funny.
So I was thinking she was going to be huge. Like she grew into them a little bit, but they're still pretty big. Also, I did try to get the perspective in the in the photo to try and make it bigger.
Yeah, she's so adorable. So anything specific with the name?
Well, at the time I was living in a house with like 4 other people. We were kind of thinking she was going to be our communal dog, like since we were very like commune style at that house, like everyone kind of helped with everything. So we were going back and forth with names for her for a while, and we were thinking maybe Olive because she kind of looked like a little olive, but my one roommate said no because her ex's dog was named Olive. We couldn't go with that. So I don't know. She has a really like cute, sweet personality, you know, so it wasn't going to be something like super funny or super, I don't know, whatever. So I just really like poppies. They're one of my favorite flowers. And she kind of just like pops around, and it was really cute. So I was like, okay, we'll do Poppy.
Okay. It's funny, whenever there's a group of people having to settle on something as important as a name, it becomes, I'm sure you might have experienced this when naming a band throughout your history, but I can imagine the debates that go on.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. You kind of get your heart set on one, and then someone else says no, and then you gotta, you know, but it's not a big deal. I think the name really ended up fitting her well. So
yeah. Now, what was the context around getting her, especially in the kind of the setting you described?
Mm-hmm. So I had dreamed about having my own dog for years, you know. So I wasn't planning on getting one anytime soon because I thought it would be kind of hard with, you know, my touring schedule, even though like I had all these other parents for the dog at home. I was just thinking, well, you know, if it's mainly my dog, then that's kind of not cool to be gone all the time. But then one of my roommates, I think it was her coworker's family was getting rid of Poppy. And so she brought her to our house just so we could all like foster her for a little bit until she could find a new place, because all the shelters are so overcrowded right now. So yeah, as I'm sure you know, like everyone's just kind of encouraging people to find fosters or other options than just dropping off at the shelters. Yeah. So we were just going to foster her, but I just kind of fell in love with her. We bonded super hard. And sometime around that same time, I started dating my partner, and then he just fell in love with her too. And we were kind of figuring out, after a while, like moving closer into LA because I used to live in Long Beach. So both of us were like, Should I bring it up? Are you gonna bring it up? We were both like, we could just take her. So, because he has a job that allows him, flexibility and he can be home when I'm on tour and stuff. So I was like, okay, if she has another like main parent, then it's not so bad when I'm gone on tour. So we decided to take her. And so now we have our own place with her, and we've got a couple other animals as well. So it's kind of a fun bit of chaos.
That's right. I saw the cat pictures.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we've got a cat and we have a snake and a rabbit as well.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Now, do you know why the previous owner wanted to move on from Poppy?
I don't know. She was about 4 months old when she came to us. My best guess is, she was kind of on the later stages of being a COVID dog. And I mean, she was crazy. Like she's a handful.
Yeah.
She's only in the last few months or so has she started to calm down. I imagine it was just, a family that was like, hang on, we can't do this. Like she's too much energy for us. She's got a lot of energy. So that would be my best guess. I don't really know other
Okay.
than that, but
Now, what's your history with dogs? Did you have dogs growing up as a child?
hmm so my parents were always into golden retrievers for some reason. So we had a couple different golden retrievers, one when I was really young, and then when I was in about third grade, we got two, a brother and sister, and the brother died a few months later. So then it was just the girl. So we had her like most of my growing up. So we bonded super hard, and I've always gravitated towards dogs. So, if there's a dog at the party, I'm with the dog. I always I always have been the one to, volunteer to pet sit or walk the dog or whatever. Actually, at the house I used to live at with all the people, a former roommate there, she had two big wolf dogs. They were mixes, but they were like, wolf, Malamute, shepherd, like just big, huge, floofy guys. So, yeah, so I was kind of like their aunt essentially, like if she was gone on a work trip or something, or just if I felt like it, I could just, grab the dogs and take them camping, take them to the beach, whatever. So it was once they had moved, I was kind of sad. There was a little puppy shaped hole in my heart. and and yeah, so I think Poppy came at the right time where I was really wanting that again.
Okay. Are you referring to Roscoe and I don't know how to say it, Makita?
Makita.
Makita.
Yes, you've done your research.
Well, again, I saw the pictures on your Instagram
Uh-huh.
and you tag them so they have their own
Yes,
page.
true.
And I guess they're golden Indian dog and a German Indian dog, which I was
Yeah.
surprised to see because I immediately looked it up and they're another breed that's hypoallergenic,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm surprised because they've got that long kind of shepherd fur
Yeah.
or hair. I don't know what you want to call
Yeah. They both shed so much. So I
it.
don't
But
know. I mean,
you just don't sneeze. You'll still have the hair, but you won't sneeze over it.
yeah, I don't have a dog allergy, so I never noticed either way, but that's cool. I didn't know that. So
But yeah, beautiful dogs.
yeah, they're gorgeous.
Now, did you have any, were you reticent to adopt a pit bull, given kind of, there's a lot of discrimination against them, there's a lot of ignorance, there's a lot of misinformation about them.
Yeah, so, when I was younger, I guess maybe I had those preconceptions, but I look at a lot of dog content online. So, I knew that pit bulls were actually really sweet, and like my partner told me like, yeah, they used to be nanny dogs. So,
Hmm.
some people don't know that. So, I don't know. I never really saw myself having a pit bull necessarily, just because I had always been around more like outdoors kind of dogs. So that's kind of what I had in mind. But I also knew that I needed to wait a long time till I had like a proper yard and the proper kind of lifestyle where I could give those dogs all of the enrichment that they needed. But I wasn't ever against pit bulls, you know, I always knew that they were really, really sweet and affectionate,
Yeah.
and high energy. So, you know, if she didn't show up, like, I don't think I would have a pit bull right now. I don't know. She just won my heart as much as she can be overwhelming sometimes. She really just loves the out of me. So,
And that's what you get them for. That's all you can ask for.
yeah, and she does pretty well outdoors. She's a trooper.
Do you, I notice you're like a rock climber, you know, do you take a lot of hikes with her?
Yeah, I haven't gone on a ton yet just because I haven't gotten outdoors as much in the last few months. Life has been just like a little bit chaotic since we moved here. So, but now that things have been settling down, I'm planning on taking her on more hikes. So she's only been on a few. Like we took her up to Mount Baldy, and that was really fun. We like there's a trail that kind of goes up and then it goes down into like the waterfall area.
Hmm.
So she really liked that. She was like splashing around in the little like stream under the waterfall and stuff. So that was cool.
Not to criticize, but we need more pictures of that.
Yeah, there there are a few pictures. I'm really bad at posting to Instagram, so probably one of these days I'll get around to posting all the fun stuff I do. But
Please do. I had a guest recently who was like, I hate what I don't like about social media. It's always like me, me, me. So I've learned when I put my dog up, it's not about me. And then when I have to slip in some information about a tour or an album, it's much easier when it's coming from the dog.
I just use the dog.
Now, when you take the dog out, this goes back to kind of this discrimination. Do people kind of react in negative ways, or you know, cross the street or give you a look?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. A lot of like men will say stuff like, "Hey, killer," and kind of like kind of try to rile her up. And like, of course, if you do that, then she gets riled up. So I I have learned to kind of try and avoid that. And it's like, you know, I'm not trying to
Right.
discriminate against anyone we're walking by either, but it does go better if she has fewer interactions while we're on walks because she does get really distracted. So, you know, it just kind of depends. I kind of feel out the energy of the people too. You know, if it's just some dude, like it's usually fine. But there's like an auto shop near my house, so it's usually like a bunch of guys like hanging around outside, music blasting and stuff. So I kind of avoid them now because they're the ones that are like, yeah, killer bulldog. Or you know, she's like, she's not a bulldog, but I think people kind of mix the two. Sometimes, actually kind of often, like people will see her and get scared and kind of try to move to the other side of the sidewalk, which like she would never hurt anyone. She's
Yeah.
so sweet. Like,
Yeah.
so I think it kind of depends too, like what kind of collar and leash and stuff we have on her. Like she has this like black harness and leash setup that's kind of more tactical looking. Like we
Hmm.
that more, you know, if we're going on a hike or something. But she also has like, you know, cute little green or purple or whatever collars. So if we
Right.
have that on, then she just automatically looks sweeter. So then people don't care. But, and we do have a prong collar for her that we use sometimes on walks, which like I know people have mixed feelings on those, and I did for a long time too. But she kind of needs just
Yeah.
like she
Yeah.
needs to be told like, hey, don't do that, and she's like, oh, okay, and then she stays focused. So it's not a like pulling her the whole walk kind of thing. It's just like if she's getting like distracted by something, you're just kind of like, hey, like
Yeah.
over a little. She's like, oh, okay. So if she has that, I make sure to have like a cute looking collar on her too. So
Right.
then, but then sometimes there are people that are like, oh my God, yeah, like I love pit bulls, you know. So
Yeah.
then we have a whole discussion about how they're actually really sweet.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I mean, the biggest misperception is how sweet they are. I mean, my sister's a big pit bull advocate and currently has three, and her
Wow.
her largest is like 70 pounds and he's the best kid. Oh, I love him. I love him. He just loves to chill and like he loves his body weight on you and it's great.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, and it's sad to see, you know, I volunteer at the shelter and there's pit bull in 90% of the dogs out there, at least in the shelters, you know,
Yeah.
and I just hope that doesn't sway anybody from not helping out in this larger problem that we currently have. But
Right.
that's a story for another episode. So is she currently going through training at all, or have you trained her or plan on training her?
Yeah, so we've been looking at different trainers. We haven't had an actual trainer come in yet, but my sister is basically like an unofficial trainer. Like she is super knowledgeable about everything. She's always researching and trying things with her dog, and her dog has some pit bull in him too. So we're on the phone like multiple days a week talking about, we spend our whole hangout time talking about our dogs, and she's like, okay, we'll try this and this. And so we spend a lot of time doing that stuff that we talk about. And my partner Gio's really, really good about training her. So it's been going pretty well so far, actually. But we think we will get a trainer sometime soon to help with, like, I don't know. We're trying to get her to go to the bathroom in this one part of our yard instead of the whole yard now.
Right.
So that's been a fun challenge.
Like I'm trying to think, is that trainable? I feel like that's all about scent.
Yeah, I
She's
don't
like, I already
know.
marked that spot.
I know, but it's just with the way our yard is set up, it would really be nice if she would. So we'll see. And I don't know how successful we'll be, but we're trying. But it's kind of that, and just like the barking when people walk by that she doesn't know, because our fence around our yard now, you can't see through it that much. So I think
Hmm.
like the neighbors that she knows, she doesn't bark. She's just like excited to see them. But if it's people she doesn't know walking by, she will bark. So those two things are the only real things that we need help on. Like, she's really good at all the other training we've done with her. So at some point we will get our act together with that. But otherwise, she's really good.
Now, where you live, are you anywhere adjacent to a dog park? And is that
Hmm.
something it's funny, I've never been near a dog park with a dog. I mean, we've got a small scale dog park, but I'm just hearing more and more negative things about the dog parks and how dog people don't want anything to do with the dog parks.
Yeah, we don't really take her. My partner Gio can take her more than I can. She gets very resource guardy with me. So, like the couple of times that I've taken her just by myself, just if other dogs are running up with a lot of energy and stuff, she can get aggressive because she's like, protect my human. But so it doesn't go well being around that many dogs at once that she doesn't know with me. With Geo, it's not as bad, and he's a bit more just calm all around as a person, so it kind of goes it goes well. But for the most part, we don't have her interact that much with other dogs unless it's like a dog that's our friend's dog or something that she's going to see and be
Hmm.
friends with on a consistent basis. So she does really well, I think, with more isolated events, like just one dog at a time, and lots of positive reinforcement. And I've learned to not like pet the other dog,
Right.
at least the first couple times in front of her, so she doesn't get resource guarding.
Okay. Well, so I guess there won't be any gigs in our future.
Maybe. It's always been my dream to have a road dog.
Yeah,
um
I hear a lot about that. I think it's a blessing and a curse. It really depends on the
yeah,
dog.
maybe when she's old, because like when she's calm, she's super calm, like she loves to chill. But so I'm hoping when she's old, maybe that'll be a discussion, but yeah, not for now.
Now, any drama with her? Has she had any ER visits, or has she destroyed any priceless heirlooms of yours?
No ER visits. Trying to think. I don't think she's destroyed anything super sentimental or valuable. She just kind of, I don't know. We
She's a
give
good
her
girl.
Yeah, she's really good. I don't know. We give her things to destroy like every day. We give her like cardboard boxes, or some of her toys are specifically toys that we know she will tear up, but we give them to her so she has something to tear up. But so she likes the Kong stuffed animals because they're tougher, so they give her like a bit of a challenge. They last longer, but she can tear them up. So she goes to town on those. I mean, she's torn up like her old bed, but that's fine. It was like kind of pretty anyway. So yeah, but I don't know. I try and we give her things to exercise those natural urges, because like it's, you know,
Yeah.
it's normal and natural for her to have a drive to tear things up. So if we give her that, then she doesn't seem really like she has a need to tear up
Yeah.
other things. She's peed on the rug a few times. Like there was one day where there was just like lots of chaos with the cat and her, and I don't know. And I think like I had been gone a lot, and it was like I just got home or something. I think she was just acting out. So she peed on all three rugs
Oh,
in the house,
jeez.
like all within an hour. And I was like, okay, asshole, like,
Yeah. Okay. I
all
get it.
right,
I
I
got
hear
your
you.
point.
Yeah. But I mean,
Well,
that's about it.
I mean, I can't believe I didn't ask this when you first mentioned the other pets. How is she around the cat and the rabbit?
So the rabbit, luckily, we lucked out with our place. We got a 3 bedroom. So the
Rabbit's got
rabbit,
their own bedroom.
yeah, he does. Yeah, he has his own room. It has a separate entrance through the yard. So that's really nice. So he's older. He's like 8, I think. So he's a bit of an old man now. And he seems really happy to have his own space, because rabbits are anxious prey animals, they can die of fear. So it's really nice that he has his own quiet, isolated little room. So he seems like super happy. The only time is like if she's in the yard and we're going into the room with the rabbit, she'll sometimes get up to the door and just like very intently stare at him, but like he knows obviously he's not going to come closer, because like, oh, that's a predator who's going to eat me,
Right.
so he doesn't come close, and she doesn't go in. She knows she's not allowed to go in, so she'll like, I usually have her walk away from the door a bit and sit and stay there while I go through the door. And she's pretty good about staying, unless she really wants to get somewhere, then she'll stay for a bit, and then she'll kind of come up to the door and just look really intently at him, but that's it. So with the cat, he also has his own room.
Nice.
We
So,
use these rooms for other things too, but so this is actually Zuko's room, the cat. That's our music room and like my office as well. So he's usually in here. So we let them hang out for kind of short amounts of time, supervised. And if it gets too, if they start to get too riled up, then we separate them again. They're both little. I mean, she's a year and a half, so she's still puppy. Like I've been told pit bulls don't necessarily calm down till they're closer to like 2 or 3. We'll see. I don't know.
I was gonna
She's
say they don't come down to like 10 or 12.
yeah. Yeah. So I don't know exactly what to believe there, but she's she's really good. It's really been him that's been instigating a lot of the time too. But I've read a lot about, when cats start reaching like the 5, 6, 7 month age, that's when they're reaching sexual maturity. So that's when their kind of combative behaviors and all that can be at the height. So that makes sense, because he would like swipe at her, and then so she actually was getting pretty good at not getting too aggressive with him. But it's like, okay, if someone's going like this in your face, like then so she's been pretty good lately, but he had been kind of just being a little Cool. So we just got him neutered. We're thinking that should help things. And when he gets a little older, I think they'll be able to hang out more. I think they're both just a little bit young still.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's always cute to see when the two get along. I mean, again, going back to Instagram and social media, I'm just shocked at how many cats and dogs get along. That
Yeah.
was unfathomable to me when I was growing up.
Yeah. I mean, that's the dream. So they're both very cuddly and affectionate and playful. So I think it'll work. Just maybe not yet in its entirety.
Okay. Well, we spoke so much about Poppy. What would Poppy say about you?
Oh man, she'd probably be like, "Oh, my mom, I love my mom. My mom's the best. I like to play with my mom. I wish my mom would come over here right now." Just she loves me so much. She'd probably say, "I wish my mom would let me do the stuff that she doesn't let me do." I'm trying to be more strict with her. I've been told I'm not as strict of a parent as
Yeah.
someone else. So I'm trying to be a bit more strict, but I think it's for her own good. But yeah, she would probably just have endless affectionate things to say. And also, I wish my mom could play with me all the time. I wish it
I wish
would,
she was an accountant that stayed
yeah.
home 365 days a year.
Which I have been home a lot, like the most I've ever been home since starting to tour and stuff. So it's the timing has weirdly worked out really well. The only thing was when we first moved here, like a week later, I had to leave on tour for a month. So that was bad timing. And then also my partner's a tattoo artist, so he was gone doing a guest spot for one of those weeks. So it was just like kind of chaotic timing when we first moved here, but then after that it's been like I'm home the most I've ever been home, actually,
Yeah.
even before I started touring, because I don't know how to not do too many things. Yeah, so now she would probably like she would have been like, "Oh, where's my mom? Like I want my mom to come home." But now I think she's stoked. Like I don't know.
Well, I heard the word tattoo artist, so I need to
Oh
ask, in the
yeah.
future, will there ever be a portrait of Poppy on your body?
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I can't believe I haven't thought of that. But now that you mention it, yeah. I don't know where. Maybe because he has a tattoo of Oliver, our rabbit, on his leg. Maybe I could do a big Poppy portrait on my leg. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Right where she always runs into me.
Be like a little mirror for her right down there.
Yeah. That'd
Well, if
be
that
cute.
happens, put it on Instagram.
I will.
I see that a lot, with my guests, and that always pops up. And I don't even think I had it in my notes, but once you said tattoo artist, I was like, all right, we got to get a tattoo, and it's got to be of the dog.
Yeah, I think you're right. We got to do that.
Okay, well, I got my eye on the clock, so I wind things down with what I call the zoomies, which is 5 quick questions.
Okay.
And the first one is, do you kiss Poppy on the mouth?
Yes.
Good. Good answer. And I think pit bulls, what they're misunderstood is they love being kissed on the mouth.
Oh yeah.
Okay, question 2, if Poppy had a theme song, what would it be?
Oh God.
Or is there
Uh,
a song that you tend to sing or make up in front of him?
I sing everything to her. Maybe something from the new Paramore album because I have to like blast music while I'm cleaning. So, and then I can simultaneously like play with her. So we'll be like doing tug of war and like dancing and singing. So probably probably running out of time. I don't know. Because
Okay.
that one's super relatable and I don't know. She loves to run.
Okay. And I apologize to Poppy again. I keep calling her him. I guess I'm thinking it's Poppy like a papa, like a dad.
Yeah, I didn't think about that until after. So there have been a few awkward moments where I've been like calling her to come over. And there's like someone there
Like
who's like, I'm like,
me?
oh, sorry. Not you.
Okay, question 3. If Poppy went on tour with you, what would she insist be in the rider?
Peanut butter, chicken, chips. She likes
Chips.
Yeah, like if like I've dropped a tortilla chip a couple times and she loves a good crunch. Oh, and
Mm,
carrots. She likes
okay.
carrots. Like
Okay.
yeah, like tortilla chips,
Okay.
carrots, chicken and peanut butter.
All right. That's more good Instagram content. Crunching dogs. Big hit.
Yeah.
Question 4 is, do you have a dog voice that you use to speak to her with, or do you give her a dog voice of her own?
Yeah, I kind of just I don't know. I I think she would sound like a cheerleader. Like like a kind of like bratty cheerleader in the best way. I love her for it. Yeah,
Is there
like
is there
total
is there a best way for a bratty
just
cheerleader?
like a teenager. She's like such
Okay.
a
Just a
teenage girl,
natural.
you know? Yeah. Like she would sound like that. And when I talk to her, I don't go overboard, but I'm I'm just like, "Hi, sweet baby." Like, stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
if she's like being a little baby, but I've been trying to use my stern voice more to to get the message across sometimes if I need her to listen. So then I'll drop my voice down. I'm like, sit, stay.
Yeah.
And so she
And
knows
hey,
I'm making this.
I was going to say they get that. They get those nuances, even if it isn't a
Yeah,
nuance and a little bit more overt.
she does. Yeah.
All right. Last but not least, is there a dog organization or service you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah. I like Blockhead Brigade in Long Beach. I think it's a little smaller, but it's this one girl who runs it who's friends with my other tattoo artist friend down there. And so there's a lot of different things specifically for pit bulls and bullies.
Hmm.
They do a really fun group distanced walk together to kind of work on behavior while on walks and while there's other distractions like other dogs, nearby but not close.
Right.
So I think that's kind of cool. They do like social events, but it's like small and isolated to kind of, keep in mind the energy of
Right.
pit bulls, to kind of avoid like any aggression. They have trainers, so you can kind of like I've reached out to them about training, so I might actually work with one of their people, but they just have a lot of very specific like pit bull and bully services,
Yeah.
even just like training suggestions and things like that. So they have a really good Instagram page and website. So that's probably the one I'd say.
Okay.
Blockhead.
Love it. I will give a little bit more information in the outro, and thanks for sharing.
Cool.
Well, Brooke, thank you for giving me your time. I have to say, you've got to go to Instagram and start posting your dog day and night, night and day.
Right. I will. I'll do my best.
But thank you again. I appreciate you coming on the show, and it was nice to hear about the dog.
Yeah, thank you so much. This was so fun.
Great. It was my pleasure. All right. Thank you, Brooke Dickson of the Regrettes and Chase Petra, for calling in and giving us the story behind you and Poppy. The dog organization Brooke elected to give a shout out to is Blockhead Brigade, which is a community-based organization advocating for blocky-headed dogs and supporting families with dogs of all breeds and mixes through outreach and innovative programs. As Brooke just said, they offer free pack walks and workshops, offer assistance with behavioral challenges, and providing resources and counseling for families struggling to keep their dogs in their homes. To join a pack walk, find a workshop, or make a donation, go to blockheadbrigade.org. Okay, in lieu of promoting the show, I just want to make people aware that the shelter system is in crisis across the country. My local shelter is operating over capacity, and that is not unique to my region of the country. It's happening everywhere. If you'd like to help, contact your local shelter and adopt a dog if you can, foster a dog, or take one on staycation for any amount of time. And if you have a cat or dog already, please have them spayed or neutered. All right, in regards to the show, we'll be back next week with another brand new episode with a country singer who just started a podcast of her own, so please join us for that. And I mean, join us for our show. not her show just yet. Okay, it's time to press the stop button on this one. We'll see you next time.